the station that plays every song you know. Well, I'm currently at the Public and Private Development Center, and seated with me this morning is a legal practitioner, program officer under the Access to Justice team. She is Onyeka Oduye. Great to have you.
Thank you.
Is it great to have you now, or for you to have me because I am at your office?
Anyhow it goes.
Thank
you for having me.
Thank you so much. All right, so with the introduction that we had at the beginning, I'm very curious. First of all, a lot of Nigerians were surprised at the speed at which justice was served in 6 months.
Exactly.
First of all, we're used to the phrase justice delayed is not justice denied. So once you have a court proceeding or a court process, going through a court process, it means that you have to just tell yourself, give or take maybe 5 years.
Yeah.
How did this happen?
Okay, so thank you for the question, by the way. So usually as Nigerians, we're used to delayed trials. That is one thing our courts are usually known for. You file a matter in court and the judgment is given in a particular matter. We've had instances like that where cases go on for like 14 years, 15 years, and then like that. So it was very surprising when this matter, which made rounds in January, where a young man was found with body parts of his alleged girlfriend, and he was charged to court, and then in 6 months, already got in judgment. So I remember that period, during that period, a lot of people said, will she even get justice? Our Nigerian courts, the way they are, before you know it, you will just hear that this man is out of jail, or you won't even hear anything about the case at all.
That's right.
So it was really surprising for a lot of Nigerians where they heard that in just 6 months, judgments have been gotten, and this judgment has been served also.
Yes.
Because one thing to give a judgment, and it's another thing for that judgment to be in accordance with the provisions of the law. Yeah. So how did this happen?
How did it happen exactly?
Yes. So currently, PPDC implemented a project, Court Administration and Case Management Project. We started with 3 pilot states, Nasarawa, Kaduna, and Plateau states. Now, what did we want to solve? We saw a problem, and we wanted to solve that problem. Matters staying in court for years without people getting justice. Most people are not even, do not have hope. Usually they say the court is the hope of the common man. But we've seen that in recent times, even the common man does not trust the court process because he feels like, I'm not going to get justice.
That's a common thing.
I am not going to get justice. So they don't even approach it. And sometimes people end up going for self-help. You understand? So we decided that there was a problem and we needed to solve that problem. What did we do? First of all, you need to find out what is the source of this problem. What is the challenge? Now you realize that a judge goes to court and then he has to write every single thing. I'm a legal practitioner, so I know how these things works. So there are times a lawyer is just talking in court and the court tells you, counsel, you're on record.
Calm down.
So imagine you arguing.
Yes.
You're just pulling out the point, stating the facts, laying out the evidence, and the court like, counsel, do you want me to take down this? Because the court needs to put everything on record. They have to take everything on record. So it's not about, you say something and then they want to write it down because it might change. Yeah. The information might be distorted. So they want to take down everything that this person has said. So you see, they have to take it slow. And then usually in a typical Nigerian court, you can have up to 30 cases in a day. And it's just one judge per court, except for superior courts like the Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court. So you have like 30 cases going on in court in a day. The court starts sitting 9 a.m. And then let's say, for example, some sit up to maybe 4 p.m. or 5 p.m. And then you have 30 cases in a day. So how do you share those? So before you know it, maybe they're able to just take one case for 30 minutes and they're like, we have to stop here because we need to take other cases. And now you want to stop there, and then the court is trying to get a date for adjournment, and then probably giving you 2 months' time, 3 months' time
to revisit that case.
My goodness.
Yeah,
to revisit that case. 2 months' time, 3 months' time. It's usually worse where it's a criminal matter and then the defendant is in detention, is in custody. The liberty of somebody is at stake. So the court said, oh, we need to stop here.
Yes.
That was a problem for us because the judge wants to take everything. So it has to apportion time to each case. So that
each case.
It has to take everything because people are in court. Their matters need to go on. Another problem we realized. So I would dwell more on criminal matters in these conversations. Now you go to corrections. They might not even bring the person to court, the defendant into court.
Okay.
That was a challenge.
Okay.
Logistic issues.
Oh.
So you go to custodial centers, they probably have only one vehicle to take inmates to court. For example, Suleja custodial centers. So we have courts in the FCT and courts in Niger State also are remanding people at that custodial center. So obviously, and they have only like one active vehicle taking people to court.
So if they have maybe 20 in a
yeah,
day.
So they can have like 20 people going to court in a day in Niger State and in the FCT. So they're like, okay, we can only take 3 people, or we can only take 4 people to court. Now they take those 4 people to court, and then they have to drop maybe one in Wuse 2, drop another one in Apo, drop another one. So those people who are not taken to court,
they have to wait.
They have to wait. I know usually when the court sits and then the person is not brought to court because the matter cannot go on. When in criminal matter, the defendant has to be in court. Trial in absentia, it's not known to our laws. So the defendant has to be in court. So when the defendant is not in court, that matter does not go on.
Oh my goodness.
So they adjourn the matter. So usually, in most cases, nobody reports that to the custodial centers. While in some cases, if there is a defense lawyer, you can say, oh my lord, we need to send the production warrant to the court, to the custodial center, to inform them that, oh, on this next day that this matter is going to come into court, bring this person to court, produce this defendant in court. But in most cases, it never gets to the custodial centers, right? Or they don't even send it at all. So that person is there. He didn't go to court.
Do you know why they don't send these things to the custodial centers? Problems?
Logistic problems too. Somebody has to take it there.
I see.
Somebody has to take it there. So that person is in the custodial center. There's no next adjourn date. It's lost in the system. So if nobody comes for him,
that's it.
That's it. Those were one of the issues we've noticed. How do we solve this problem?
Yes.
How do we solve the problem? We said that, okay, we no longer want the judges to write.
First things first.
Yes, we no longer want them to wake up, realize that this traditional means of them doing this thing is taking time, it's time consuming. So why don't we provide something that can record this thing, transcribe it and give it to them after
the court proceedings.
After the court proceedings. So the judge just goes on and then sees everything each person has stated. And while they are speaking, is more attentive.
I agree.
Because sometimes when somebody is speaking and you have to write, there's a lot going on. But when you're just balanced and then the person is speaking, you're able to listen to the person, you're able to digest it, you're able to reason, or why this person is saying this thing and speaking this way. So we said, okay, we no longer want you to write. So we're going to provide something for you that would take this thing in, record this thing, transcribe it, and give you after every proceeding.
And this was where PPDC came in?
Yes. Okay. So we introduced the JUDIC AI. Now, JUDIC AI has been deployed to the states, to the courts in the state, in Nasarawa State. The particular court where this matter held, JUDIC AI was used. So the judge does not need to write. The judge does not need to write. So throughout the proceedings, he wasn't writing.
Listens.
All he needs to do is listen.
I agree.
The prosecution is in court stating his matter. The judge just listens. The defense lawyer stating his matter. The judge just listens. So how would it not be swift?
That's right.
When you solve the problems, the challenges of
taking
things down, the challenges of taking things down. And we didn't just end there because of logistics. You're not able to bring those people to court. So what we decided to do was to have like a virtual court.
Virtual courts?
Yes.
Okay.
So the courts, we deployed screens in the courts. and also at the custodial center.
So the issue of getting a vehicle to bring the defendants to court.
So if you can't bring them to court, there's a virtual court there in system in the custodial center. So if your matter is coming up, all you need, they just take the defendants, the pretrial detainees there, they connect to the internet, the court is sitting, the defense lawyer is there, and trial is going on.
Trial is going on.
Yeah.
And in this case, this was what happened.
So in this case, he was in Lafayette. He was in Lafayette.
So
custodial.
it was easy to
it was easy to get into the court, the custodial center.
Okay, I want to find out something. You know, a lot of people will say, oh, there's sensitivity with reporting, things like this. Now, bringing the issue of digitization to this particular case. How were you able to manage integrity, security of sensitive information not getting out? Because you talked about, ensuring that the judges just sit down, listen more rather than take notes. You know, some people will say that the diary of a judge is very, very, very how do we put it now? It's very sacred, right? But now they just sit down and everything is recorded. So how do you ensure that all of those information doesn't just go out? Like there's some sort of protection.
So trials are done in open courts. There is no secret courts. Secret court per se. So the only instances where we have like maybe trials going on in a place where the public cannot allow, when it relates to a juvenile, a child. So that's when the courts will be like, okay, we need just like a few people. But usually, normal trials are done in open courts. So when it comes to integrity, yes, those things are secured.
Yes, they're secured.
They're very secured. Only the judges have access to those
files.
To those files, yes. Only the judges have access to those files. So it is secured. So we don't have issues of things getting out of where they shouldn't go to. We have other countries that have adopted these things, and it's working for them. So we can't continue to do things the old way. We've been writing since Nigeria, the first courts in Nigeria, and then it's not working for us. The dockets of the courts are usually too much because cases are lingering in court. Judges are overwhelmed.
Of course.
Judges are overwhelmed,
We've seen cases with some judges passing on as a result of stress.
Yes, judges are really overwhelmed.
So yes, I think this conversation is timely, and seeing that it has worked, it just brings some form of hope. Now, speaking about hope again, like I said at the beginning, a lot of Nigerians were surprised.
Yes.
Now with this now as a template, what do you see, or where do you see the court in the next couple of years using Nasarawa as a case study with other states? And what do other states need to do? What do they need to, focus on? Should we focus on just looking at the entire, Nigerian justice system within your state and just focus on everything that has to be focused on? Or do we focus on ensuring that we get judges to stop writing first, ensure that there's digitization of our courts? If that's the focus, then how will it change the hearing cases within the state? Okay,
so we were able to achieve this obviously with the intervention of the Bureau of International Narcotics and Law Enforcement Affairs, the United States Embassy. We were able to do this. The project was funded by the U.S. Department of State. So, and then we've not gotten to all the courts in Nasarawa. There is a lot that still needs to be done. So what we're trying to do is to have a sustainability plan. Like, we've shown, this is like a pilot project. We've shown you this is what can happen if you do this. So what we want now is the government to be committed to ensuring that the courts in their states are digitized.
That's the focus.
That's the focus, to ensure that the courts in their state is digitized. There needs to be change. We cannot just keep complaining, the courts are this. We need to take steps. And one of those steps is to introduce technology into our courts. And then we've shown them that this is what can happen when you use technology. When you do the new technology is the new. Everybody is moving. It's a global world. Things are changing, of course, every day. So you need to change with it. We cannot be using yesterday's solutions to solve today's problems.
I agree.
Yeah. So we need the governments, the state governments, the federal governments who adopt this system, buy into these ideas. PPDC, Devon Technology, the technology company who built the software, they have the software. This is already available. All we are telling them, we need these hardwares that these judges, because trust me, no judge would want to decide, I want to continue writing when you have something better.
That will alleviate every stress.
Yes, when you have something better. So this is what we want the government to adopt. Digitize our court processes. To make things easier for the judges, to ensure that there is free flow of cases. Cases do not need to linger in court for years. You understand? So we need to introduce this to our courts. Our judges don't need to write anymore.
Now, talking about digitized courts, can you just, as a legal practitioner and someone who has worked with PPDC under the Access to Justice team, can you walk us through how a digitized court functions?
So for a digital court, you have like a lot of technology appliances, obviously. So for the judge, usually we have like the registrars who we also train, so the court clerks, the court registrars too, who are usually very active when it comes to court processes. They are key components of that. So what we do is to get these appliances and digital what was the word now? Digital equipment in place. So we need desktop or maybe laptops, computers, and the rest. For our digital courts, we ensure that we have like the screens, and we ensure that there are adequate like internet connectivity, because if you don't have, of course,
how do you have your virtual
if you don't have the internet and connectivity. So this software just takes through everything. It's on the system, right?
So you don't have to look for documents physically.
No.
It is itemized in the system.
It is itemized in the system. And we also made it easy in the sense that, because usually when cases are filed, the chief judge usually the one who assigns like, cases, go to this court, go to that court.
Yes.
Usually what they do is to bring like pile of files.
I can imagine.
So they bring like pile of files and then they come and drop on the chief judge's table. Assign this case. He has to pick writing. This one go to court 1, this one go to court 3, this one go to court, or maybe an administrative judge. Let's say, for example, a place like, let's use Nasarawa for example, a place like Karo, which is very far from Lafia. There has to be an administrative judge that does that at that level. So what we do is that these things are now on that system. So when the cases are filed, it is there on the system, the case management system. What we also did is to provide like a case management system for that, to help them manage filing. So when these cases come, all the magistrates and the judge needs to do, the chief judge or maybe the administrative judge needs to do is to open their system and then assign to
court 1. So
it's
more like moving the mouse rather than having heavy documents on the table.
Yes, so it just assigns these cases. It makes this. So the thing is, we've seen instances where it takes months to even assign a case to a judge. We've seen instances where it takes 2 months. Because as a lawyer, when you want to take a matter to court, obviously you file. You take the matter to court, and then you have to wait for them to assign that case to a judge. So you have to keep going to the court. My file been moved. Has it been assigned? It has been assigned to this particular judge. So another thing we also did is the fact that instead of the lawyers having to do that, can they get notifications instead?
So when it's assigned, it's not a matter of you coming physically.
So they get notification, this matter has been adjourned today. So digitizing the process, making it seamless. So all moving from one table to another table. And what this has done also is to improve accountability and transparency. Because we've had instances where somebody is telling you, you have to give me something, move your file.
Thank God you mentioned, because I was about to
you have to give me some file, move your file. And when opportunities like this are available, people exploit it.
Definitely.
People use the opportunity to do a lot of things.
Yes.
Even with the custodial centers having to do with that challenges with vehicles. the people, the bad eggs, they just use that opportunity to exploit.
Fuel is not
sell
available
it,
today.
fuel, they don't forgive us this particular amount, we will not take you to court or stuff like that. So this has reduced
your opportunity for corruption.
Yes. So you've introduced transparency, there's accountability, nobody is bribing. You even have instances where a lawyer can even say, oh, can my matter go to this court? Can you ensure that this matter goes to this particular? So it has reduced
trying to
interfere with the process. So there's transparency, there's accountability. Remember I told you the name of the project was Court Administration and Case Management.
Yes.
So how the court is being managed, the case management to ensure that cases are managed properly. Court administration too, to introduce transparency, accountability, so that people can trust in the system, which also brings us back to this Timileyin case.
Yes.
So people will have, so if before somebody had this idea that this Timileyin case, I don't think
we're going to hear about it.
We're not going to hear about this thing again. Before you just say that guy is out of there and the rest. But when they say, oh, this thing has
not just
judgment has been given.
Yes.
I'm like, oh wow. So our courts can be like this.
Yes.
Do you know today there are people who believe that this guy that was involved with a lot of kidnapping, Evans.
Yes.
Some people feel like he's out there because there was no information. Some people feel like he's actually on the street, like roaming. I've seen it on the internet several times. Oh, this Evans case, we've not even heard about it again. That guy is out there.
Most people speculate since the image of the justice system. That's right.
But with this, they know that judgment has been given. The family is also able to find closure.
Rather than reopen the case every single time. Remember the case of Alo 4 that it took almost 5 years?
Almost 5 years before judgment is given. But with this, the family members are also able to find closure or gotten justice within a very short period of time.
Yes. I totally agree, and I'm happy with what PPDC is doing. We can see it live happen. Just like last year when you guys had your pally, and we talked about how this digitization had affected so many lives, but we're seeing it in real time between January to June. We're seeing a killer convicted, getting the justice that he deserves.
Exactly.
I also want to, say that the intervention and the support gotten from the U.S. Department of State is something that you guys have, heavily commended. Now, how important are international partners in strengthening Nigeria's judicial system?
So I think international partners, especially the U.S. Department of State, has done a lot in terms of introducing reforms and supporting reforms in our judicial and system. Not just the CACM project, they're also supporting us with our Reforming Pretrial Detention in Nigeria project too, which we're using to also solve some certain kind of problems that we've noticed in our justice system. You have a very high rate of pretrial detention in our custodial centers. So for example, Kuje Custodial Center has a capacity of 560, but in most cases you have people over 1,000 people in that capacity. So you can imagine. And then when you check, maybe like over 70% are pretrial detainees. They've not been convicted. And what are the reasons? What are the reasons? You're tracing it back to the court too.
Yes.
You're tracing it back to the court. You're tracing it back to the problems from the correctional and custodial centers and the rest. So what they're helping, supporting us to do is to ensure that we provide legal representation. So we notice that a lot of pretrial detainees cannot afford it. Like the rates of poverty, the rates of illiteracy, the rates of ignorance in Nigeria is actually very high. So and you have like a lot of people who are in conflict with the law falling within those categories. They cannot afford legal representation. So they are there. They're just there. So what we're doing is providing legal representation for them. And we're doing this with pro bono lawyers who have accepted to that, okay, they're going to forfeit their professional fees.
You guys had a meeting, a conference.
Yes, a pro bono
lawyers last year.
We did a pro bono conference last year, which and we'll also be doing another one this year too. So we engage them so they provide legal representation for these people, ensure that they could. Now we're also facing challenges too, because sometimes our lawyers go to court and then they don't bring the defendants in court. like I said, when the defendant is not in court, that matter cannot go on because trial in absentia is not practiced in our law. The person you're trying must be there. You can't try him in absentia, so it has to be there. So it comes to courts. The court doesn't see it. It goes back. The lawyer goes back and the rest. So
trying to find out why his client was not in court.
Exactly. So what we do is provide legal representation for them. Our support also goes beyond that. So the corrections have something they call Corrections Information Management System, which was introduced sometime in 2019. So like corrections have to do with a lot of numbers every time. So that system was introduced to collect data of inmate. So they have like a case management system there. They have like a welfare platform there. But unfortunately, we have about 256 custodial centers in Nigeria. I can tell you that since I've not gotten to half.
Oh my God.
So since I've not gotten to half, and in places where it has gotten to, to one, it's still infrastructure issue. We don't have systems. We don't have internet. So it's like always starting from the scratch. Yes, we don't have internet. We don't have this. We don't have that. So what do we want to do? So we are strengthening the technological capacity of the custodial centers. So for what we tried to do is that we saw that some modules on that system were not functional. So we upgraded those modules to ensure that they were functional. We'll now introduce some other modules to it. For example, inmates and property cash module. Before now, there was nothing. If somebody is being admitted in the custodial center, there's no record of, does he have a property? Or if he has cash, for example, is there any record of this? He didn't have any of those things. So we introduced modules to this system. The statistics module to ensure that there is real-time data of, how many male, how many female, how many pretrial detainees. There is real-time data. You just click on the system, it pops up. Now, they have issues of hardware. Almost every criminal justice institutions have this problem. I mean, we were very peculiar with the we know the peculiarities of our government. Yes. So
it's not just, it's like you're trying to say, for our international partners, their support is good, but again, we still need our government to key into this.
The international partners cannot do everything. Nigeria is a large country. International partners cannot. They can only lead the way, show you, this works, support you, but we need sustainability plan. You know what happened? We all know what happened in January. Stop work, freeze of international aid, funding. You can imagine people who were getting free medicines, for example, HIV medications, tuberculosis. They couldn't get it.
And the government had to step in immediately.
Yeah, they couldn't get it because before now they were not providing it for them. It was international aid. So if international aid stops, what do?
So
people start dying.
You could see government like running helter to provide this medication.
To provide it. So on the hardware part, we're also ensuring that for the states where we're implementing our RPDM projects, we're giving those custodial centers the hardware they need. We don't want to we do not have power supply. We know power supply is epileptic in Nigeria. Inverters are there.
Available.
Your desktops is there. Internet connectivity is there. So that
it makes it seamless.
It makes it seamless. The SIMS is introduced there. If it has not been introduced there, it is introduced there. We're also training them. Build their capacity
to handle this.
These things. You speak to some of the corrections officers and then they tell you that sometimes it could just be like an extension board that is the problem, but the person cannot troubleshoot it because it doesn't know, it doesn't have that capacity to be able to do that. And then once that thing happens, the SIMS is shut down completely in that place.
And nothing goes on.
And nothing goes on again. So we want to ensure that we build these people's capacity to ensure that you are able to troubleshoot the problems that you have. You have the hardwares. They need to work. Because one thing to deploy hardware is another thing for them to use it.
And for the human resources to know how to use it.
How to use it.
Yes.
So we're ensuring that these things are done.
Thank you so much. You've been speaking with a legal practitioner, program officer under the Access to Justice team, Onyeka Oduye. Just before you go, just tell us again where PPDC has been able to deploy this digitized courts. I know Nasarawa is one of them.
Yes.
Jos is one
Plateau
of them.
State is another.
Okay, that's Plateau, and which other?
Kaduna State.
Okay.
And currently we're working in Ebonyi and Oyo States.
Amazing,
yes.
amazing. And also looking forward, what lessons are we taking from this? This speedy trial that has happened between January to June. What lessons are we taking from this? And where do you think the Nigerian government steps in, to take this lesson and run with it?
So what lessons are we taking? Speedy trials is possible.
It's possible, yeah.
Speedy adjudication of court processes, transparency, accountability, efficiency, they are possible. All we need to do is take that step and be committed to it. It's not, I think one mentality we need to have in our criminal justice systems, in our court systems, and even beyond it, is the mentality we have. So a lot of us, we just feel like, oh, this cannot work. This is Nigeria. It cannot work. We cannot do this. We cannot do that. It needs to start from the way we think. The issue of high rates of pretrial detention did not start today. The issue of court judges taking down things, they know it. They are aware of it. We know the problems. So if we keep talking about our problems every day, nothing would happen until we take a step.
To make a change.
We need to take a step. We cannot just be complaining. Oh, this is our problem. This is our problem. I've been hearing this problem since I was a student, a law student. And as a lawyer, I'm still hearing this problem. And you've not taken any step. Government needs to be willing and committed in doing these things. Make these funds available. During budget preparations for every fiscal year, put it as your budget. Digitization of courts. Introducing technology into our courts.
Both at the federal and the state
Yes.
level.
Introduce it there. Whatever that needs to be done, introduce it there. We cannot be spending money in other sectors, and then in sectors where it is more, we need interventions. We're not saying anything, probably waiting for one international organizations to come and help us. Donor money is not free money. It cannot always be there.
I agree.
They cannot always give
we
you
need to
money.
step up.
These are taxpayers' money from other countries.
So what are we doing with our taxpayers' money?
These are taxpayers' money from other countries. They cannot always bring it to you and say, oh, do this and do that. They also have limits too, to what they can do. We have in Nasarawa State, probably you have more than 50 high courts. If it's not up to, you have magistrate courts too there. So we've introduced to high court, magistrate court. What about other locations too that we need to go to? And can other states that have not digitized, do not have any form of digitization, look into this thing and say, okay, we want to adopt this thing. This thing is working. Judgment can be gotten in 6 months or even less. Even less. If the judge does not need to write, it reduces the workload for him. So all he needs to do is, you can even do day-to-day trial. Instead of, adjourning a case from January to June. Trust me, it happens. It happens. Even when the liberty of somebody is at stake. Yes, it happens.
Okay.
Non-adjournment, yes.
Thank you so much. It's been an interesting one. So in less than 30 seconds, what's next for PPDC? Because, everyone's watching out for PPDC now, with this, speedy trial. What's next for PPDC? Engagement with government officials to tell them that it's possible to get this done, citing this example? Yes,
so engagement with Governors Forum, engagement with other governmental bodies, that we need a sustainability plan. It's part of our sustainability plan. Okay. We don't just want these things to be done and after 5 years, you can't even sustain what has been done or you have not even built on it. So constant government engagement with the governors' forums, with the judges, with other criminal justice stakeholders. we need to push for these things. In the next 2 years, all our courts needs to be digitized. We need to have gotten to some stage where we say, okay, this is it for us. We need to move with the trend. We cannot always be behind.
That's right.
Like I said, we cannot continue to use yesterday's solutions to solve today's problems.
Yeah, and
things are changing.
That's our take home.
Things are changing, and we need to change with
it.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Onyeka Oduye. I appreciate you for having me in your office.
Thank you
so
too
much
for having me.
Thank you,
and
well done to PPDC.
Yes.
And I cannot wait for the next trial that hits the news
exactly
speedily.
Yes.
Have a wonderful day.
Thank you. You too. Thank you.